What do you want me to bench me?
No, I don't think I said that.
Okay. I think history is on our side when it comes to that stuff.
The Golden State Warriors are the most complicated team in the entire NBA. They had an all-world offseason where, at least on paper, they seem to have fixed all of their problems. And as of right now, their record indicates that that couldn't be the furthest from the truth. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. Leading up to the season, I spammed predictions at you guys consistently. Michael Porter Jr. needed over 5.5 rebounds in his season debut. Tyreek Hill just needed a touchdown, and Steph Curry just needed 1 point. Shout out to those that tailed. For those of you guys that were able to make money, we're giving away our picks for free all season long for the NBA and NFL on my Instagram at @TheFlightMike. And right now, when you use promo code microphone on Prize Picks, they'll match your deposit up until $100. Thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Last year, everyone unanimously agreed what was holding the Golden State Warriors back. It's the fact that they could never recover from the fact that Draymond Green punched the living shit out of Jordan Poole. I mean, throughout the season, Jordan Poole just didn't look like himself. He seemed like he didn't love basketball anymore. He really looked like he didn't even want to be there anymore. This could be either because he is satisfied with where he was after winning a championship in 2022 with the Golden State Warriors. Maybe he's happy that he finally got his bag.
Hey, you about to get a bag. You about to get a bag. No. You about to get a bag. We about to get a bag. We about to get a bag.
Or it's the fact that the locker room just never was able to recover since. Either way, the Golden State Warriors resolved their problems, at least for that time. They chose Draymond Green over Jordan Poole, announcing that they were going to extend Draymond Green the moment free agency started, and Mike Dunleavy Jr. even lied about keeping Jordan Poole, if you remember this interview.
Especially with his contract extension, plan to have him here for 4 more years at least.
Following that, the Golden State Warriors doubled down on their decision. During the trade deadline, they traded James Wiseman for Gary Payton II, and then in the offseason, they traded Jordan Poole, Patrick Baldwin Jr., Ryan Rollins, a second-round pick in 2027, a top 20 first-round pick in 2030, and cash considerations, and brought in Chris Paul. At the time, I praised the move. I mean, I thought Jordan Poole needed a change of scenery. I thought Chris Paul needed to play less minutes, and him coming off of the bench could actually prolong his career a little bit more. I felt like a bench unit led by Chris Paul would make the Golden State Warriors unstoppable, and at least in the beginning of the season, that seemed to have been the case. The Warriors started out the season with a 5-1 record. Throughout their first 8 games, they were ranked in the top 10 offensively, and I deemed the Chris Paul trade to be a huge success. It seemed like nothing was going to stop the Golden State Warriors, but a familiar theme appeared once again. Draymond Green got suspended for 5 games for choking Rudy Gobert, and it just seems like the Golden State Warriors are consistently dealing with more and more problems. During this absence, the Golden State Warriors have gone 2-7, including a 6-game losing streak. This did involve Steph Curry being injured and out for a few games, but once Curry did return, the Golden State Warriors went 2-2. And in typical Golden State Warriors fashion, Draymond Green's temper put them in a bad situation. But coupled with this is not only Steph Curry and Draymond Green having problems, but Klay Thompson has been playing the worst basketball of his career, shooting 40.2% from the field, averaging 15 points per game, shooting a career low 37% from 3, which prompted this exchange between Klay Thompson and a reporter.
Or are you of that kind of patience, and how much do you value it?
What do you want me to bench me?
No. It's like that's
bench Wiggs?
I don't think I said that.
Okay. I mean, you can suggest it, it's fine. But, I mean, thanks, Steve, I guess. Like, I don't know, sometimes you earn these things like patience and time to find yourself. And I think history is on our side when it comes to that stuff.
Obviously, this was going to be a question throughout the season. If you remember in the offseason, when Chris Paul was asked about his potential role and him possibly coming off of the bench, you didn't really seem too happy about it.
Okay, well, I don't know what the situation is going to be yet, you know what I mean? So I think that'll be for us to figure out once we get going.
You've never come off the bench in your entire career. Is that something that you'd be willing to do?
Like I said, it'll be a conversation for us when camp starts or whatnot. But me and Steve have talked or whatnot. But that ain't something that you be like, "What up, man? Where you starting? You coming off?" You know what I mean? So I think we'll figure all that stuff out in camp.
And now this seems to have been compounded because Chris Paul is coming off of the bench and he's averaging career lows as well. But it makes a lot of sense because he's coming off of the bench this year. But now, could an argument be made for elevating Chris Paul from the bench to the starting lineup? Could it be Chris Paul is the problem with the Golden State Warriors? Was the Chris Paul trade the reason why the Warriors aren't succeeding? Well, we could answer that question very quickly and very easily. The answer is no. The Chris Paul trade was a huge success. In terms of ranking the top players coming off of the bench in the NBA this season, Hoops Hype has provided a metric called global rating, which is used to track the performance of basketball players all around the world that combines players and team statistics to rank players according to their productivity on the court. This includes the amount of games a player has missed in a certain season, or a competition is also factored in. And when you take a look so far in regards to the best sixth man in the NBA, Chris Paul is in the top 10. He's ranked number 7, as a matter of fact. He's averaging 7.7 assists off of the bench, which means that the Golden State Warriors have a huge problem here. Granted, we still need to wait to see how they play once Draymond Green returns and once they're fully healthy, but at this point, there are changes that could be made to the Golden State Warriors if that's the direction that they want to go in. But the problem is, it's going to be an uncomfortable decision that they need to make, and it's a decision that quite literally is the reason why Bob Myers retired to begin with. It's a decision that he didn't want to make. Klay Thompson is up for a huge contract extension in the summertime, and he's mentioned that he wants to stay with the Golden State Warriors, but he feels blessed regardless. And I want to make sure that we all understand that Klay Thompson is going to go down as one of the greatest Golden State Warriors in NBA history. A 5-time NBA All-Star, a 2-time All-NBA player, a 4-time NBA champion. You do not win the championships that you have won without Klay Thompson. Even furthermore, I feel like the expectations of Klay Thompson are so significant ever since he's returned from the 2 worst injuries that you can sustain in the NBA. I mean, this man had a torn ACL, and right when he was getting ready to come back, he tore his Achilles. I mean, 10 years ago, if you sustained one of those injuries in your career, you were never the same player again. The fact that Klay was able to come back, still look like 70% of his prime self, and help the Golden State Warriors win their 4th championship during the Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green era is nothing short of spectacular. But this is business, and in business, you don't give out max level contracts because you're feeling butterflies in your stomach and you're thankful for a player's achievements. Especially in the case of Klay Thompson, who has earned $266 million throughout his career. Draymond Green stated that he wanted a max as well originally, and he didn't get a max contract at the end of the day. He got paid $25 million a year over 4 years. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but pretty much what Klay Thompson is asking for is a contract that pays him $276 million over 5 years, which is insane if you think about it. I mean, obviously those numbers are going to be skewed based upon what happens in the offseason and based upon how the salary cap is going to increase or decrease, probably increase. But in this particular instance, man, there's no way you could rationalize paying Klay Thompson, who is averaging career lows, that much money until his age 38 season. You can, and you can feel really good about yourself for doing it, but it's going to result in your entire team crumbling. There's no way you're competing for a championship paying Klay Thompson that much money, and you're going to try to trade him as a result of such a contract. So unless Klay Thompson agrees to take a pay cut, then the Golden State Warriors have a huge problem. Because if the Warriors continue to regress, the only solution to improving their team is trading Klay Thompson or trading CP3. And CP3 is having a remarkable season off of the bench so far, even throughout this stretch of games where the Warriors are struggling. The Warriors need to hope that once everyone comes back, they're fully healthy and good to go. Now, once everyone comes back, this team starts winning games and winning games quickly. Because if not, there are attractive options to improve the team. The Chicago Bulls are without a doubt going to be sellers at the deadline. And although some players are going to be more expensive than others, at the end of the day, if the Golden State Warriors want to make a significant improvement in their team, they're going to have to choose between Klay Thompson and CP3, unless if they start consistently winning games, which is also a possibility. There's a lot of directions that the Warriors season can go in, and it's a very difficult situation to be in if you're Mike Dunleavy Jr. Let me know in the comment section down below, what should the Golden State Warriors do? Should they trade Chris Paul, even though he's having a solid season? Should they trade Klay Thompson, even though he's meant the world to this franchise? Should they stand pat and move forward? I like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.